edition of Survive to Thrive with me, Dr. Todd. Hey, today we're going to be talking about some cool concepts, and first starting off with a story. But wanted to take a moment and express gratitude for you guys that are listening to this. Obviously, you're getting something out of it, and it means a bunch. This is a journey that I had started just to be able to express and start organizing literally all of what I know and all of what I've experienced in life. And it's been a fun journey. I don't know how long it'll last, meaning that I will continue to do this in one form or another. But I have a ton of things that are on me, expanding on me, and I'm going to be doing this in some way, shape, or form. And because I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed teaching, and this kind of is a segue into today's topic, which is breaking routines for expansion. You know, I love to get out in the hills. We put in for some tags because we love elk meat, and elk meat is something that we go after. Deer meat, not so much, but we'll harvest it, we'll eat it, we'll turn it into jerky, sausage, things like that. But elk is like one of these things that we go after. So I've spent the last couple weeks climbing in the hills. It's been really hot, and so it's been a harder journey here to get and harvest a cow elk. And so I'm going out again tomorrow. But yesterday we went to a new spot and went to a brand new spot. And turns out that it was just dry. I mean, the watering hole that we were expecting a bunch of cows to be on just didn't pan out. And so we go on a journey on our side-by-side and go around. When I say journey, it was Kellen and I. But about midway through, I go, Kel, this looks like another one of those days. I go, there's just nothing here. And he goes, I know. I go, well, sorry, buddy. I was like, we came out to harvest a cow. And he says, I got to spend time with you. And, you know, as I get older, I start to reflect and look back at the ones that are starting to teach me lessons now are right in front of me. And literally sitting in front of me every day for breakfast, sometimes at lunch, and often at dinner. There are lessons right in front of me, and we so we go cruising around. And if that wasn't a lesson in itself, here is the tip and trick today: is that we go and hit one of these fences. And if anybody's been out in the hills, you hit a fence, like not literally hit a fence, but you're coming around a corner, you see a fence, and it's always like, oh my gosh, hopefully the fence post comes off easy. So raise your hand. Yes, have you ever experienced this? If you've gone off-road and you had to go through cattle fence of some sort, cowboys are tough, and they set these things up to, like, I think only 1% of the population can actually open them. But it's interesting. It's just been ruminating with me because there's each one is unique. Each one is totally different, and each one has its own quirks. And like, as you have to, so those of you who haven't, it's just basically two fence posts that are put together, and then wire that keeps it, and then you got to get the top wire off. There's a bottom wire that holds the foot of it, so to speak. And you open this thing up, and then you got to drag it across. There's barbed wire. There's possibility for poking your hand, catching your clothes, all these types of things. So it's like you got to approach this fence post as like something brand new every time, because you just don't know what you're going to get. And so I've been passing this trait on, and anybody that knows that it's here on the hills, the driver never has to get out, right? The driver is just like, so that's part of like being a passenger, is you got to open gates. That's like in the old days when there was no cabs in a truck, you just wanted the middle seat because you didn't have to drive or you didn't have to open gates. That was always the deal. So, but anyways, I pull up to this gate, and Kellen gets out, and you can tell he's not yet at that phase of being super strong, because you got to sometimes just really squeeze together. And he's gotten some, and others are just not. And I could tell this one. And they kept looking back at me like, give me one more minute. Let me get one more try. And here he is struggling with this fence. I eventually had to get out, and he hops in the driver's seat, and I get that, and he drives the wheeler through. He gets excited about that, and that's awesome. But as we sit there, I took a picture of him walking up, and I'll post that in here. I started to realize that this is breaking routine and how much you could learn in a fence post. I know it sounds crazy, but here this kid is learning so much more that he'll never get on a sports field, so much more that he'll never get in a classroom. Now, we homeschool, so we have the flexibility on like a Thursday to go out and do this. And we laid underneath the stars the night before, camping, cooked a little meal, crawled into our bags, and just listened to the quiet. And if you've never heard the quiet, like it's never been quiet before, like it hurts your ears, you need to get out and do it. And to look at the stars and to fall asleep under the stars telling stories, and then to go through life and have this example of like fence posts. Like understanding the uniquity of each one of these things has implications all across life. It's understanding people. It's understanding in a relationship. It's understanding yourself. It's understanding how things work. And so the tip and the trick today is pretty straightforward in the fact of, although routines create habits, they also keep us from experiencing different things. Quite often on a Thursday, I could get back into routine where I get a bunch of work done, I get my normal exercise in, and the day goes by, and I maintain that routine. But see, in this breaking of routine where I get out in the hills, and I don't know what that looks like for you, but when I get out in the hills, this magic starts to happen. Because it's a snap out of a routine. You start to see things different. And in the beauty of it, you start to come full circle. And when you get back into your routine, you appreciate that routine even more. You come back to the normal that you actually take for granted. You come back to the normal and see things a little bit different. When you've had to open a fence, a gate, when you've had to squeeze that fence post, things start to change. Like you literally come back and be like, maybe I should do more push-ups. No, but it's literally the aspects of just seeing the world from a different standpoint. Now, many of you are caught in cities. And a quick little story, I'll never forget this. We were checking out, Marin and I, at the grocery store. I don't know if it was a weekend or what have you. We were talking about different odds and ends, and the gal checking us out goes, "What are you doing this weekend?" She said, "It looks like you guys are going to have fun." We had some snacks and things like that. And we're like, "Yeah, absolutely." And Marin says, "Hey, we're going to climb up into Lamoille, up in the canyon," which if you guys have never experienced it, it is beautiful. It is God's country. It climbs up into, up above 10,000 feet if you want to. But it's just beautiful mountain range, beautiful hikes and stuff like that. And she goes, "Oh, I've been meaning to do that." And we said, "Well, are you new to town?" And she goes, "Oh no, I've lived here all my life." And I would estimate that she's probably in her mid-20s, something like that. And we were like, "You've lived here all your life, and there's a 17 to 20 mile drive that you could take to be able to experience something totally different that would expand your world, to allow you to see something different, to look at something different, to experience nature, to connect in a way that you've never connected before and you've never done it. 20 miles over the hill." And she's like, "Yeah, I know I need to get there." Of course, I didn't say all that, but she's like, "I just need to go." And we're like, "You need to go. You need to go, and go often." Do you see, ladies and gentlemen, we get caught in cities. We get caught in our routines. We get caught in waking up and just getting by, just surviving a day in the aspects of like just trying to get through and pay the bills, get through a relationship, get through just enough time to maybe even get some exercise with our bodies, to fall asleep, to wake up, and to do it again. And my challenge for you today is to break routines, because that's where magic happens. not to destroy habits, good habits, but to destroy old habits, but to actually move into expansion of your normal routines by doing something different. To take your family for a hike, to go camping. Like not just a trailer and drag the trailer, like go get in the dirt and lay on the ground and look at the stars. Because you will find in breaking routines this magic that starts to happen. So where is it for you? This is always the question, where you've gotten ingrained in such a habit that it's literally squelching you from the magic. It's keeping you from being creative. It's keeping you in a box, so to speak, that you can't expand. You can't grow because you're so ingrained in this routine. It could be in your workouts. One of the healthiest things that you can do in a workout is to do what? Shift it. Every 4 to 6 weeks. I learned this as a certified strength and conditioning specialist. It was one of my most sought after credentials after I got a degree. You had to have a degree to sit for this test. And I studied and I studied and I got it. CSCS, a strength and conditioning coach. But one of the things that I remember mostly was like 4 to 6 week periods. It's called periodization. It's how the body works. It's literally how the body works. And they talked about taking a break, like a week break, not exercising, but changing that routine. And then the body gets shifted out of that routine, has recovery, and then comes back into an exercise program, regenerated, rejuvenated, and ready to go. When's the last time you took a week off of your workouts and did something different? You went and rode a bike instead of jogging all the time. You went and actually tried some CrossFit instead of your normal routine. You just basically did push-ups like I've been doing. Just the basics of a push-up to master a push-up, getting in that routine. When's the last time you shook that up? When's the last time you shook up a routine with your spirituality? With your connections, with purpose, with God? Break out of a routine, go to a different church. But I couldn't do that. What if my church would think that I was cheating on them? Good. Go do it. Hear a different side of things. Heck, go to a church that's in a different religion. Whoa. What about a relationship? What do you need to do to shake that up? It might just be a trip. Spontaneous trip. Spontaneously cooking dinner, men, if that's not what you do. You will shock the shit out of your lady. Look, I actually cooked us a gourmet dinner. For most of us, we would probably kill our wives. She'd literally fall over, have a heart attack, and die of shock. All right? So, but in your relationships, what could that breaking routine do for you? What kind of shock could that do to the system to reignite some things where you guys could start talking again, put the cell phones down and start engaging in meaningful conversation and actually build and work on your relationship? I don't know where it is for you. I don't know where you need to break routine, but you do. And the cool thing is you have all the tools sitting right in front of you to get that done, to break your routines now, to do something different. Schedule it this weekend. Schedule it today. Like, hey, I'm going to shift. I've been in this workout routine for, whatever. I used to personal train because I had that CSCS. It's about the only job I could get. All right, started personal training and realized as I worked with people, how long have you been doing this routine? See, I joined the gym about 7 years ago. You've been doing the same thing for 7 years? Yeah. Oh my God. Why have you not quit? How boredom could set in. You may be that person. I don't know. Comment. Let us know where it is for you and where you're going to break routine, how you're going to break routine, what you're going to do. Sometimes people just need ideas. So post on YouTube, post on Facebook, Instagram, where we are, you should be, and give people some help. I'll list some examples of what I do to break routine in different areas as well. But look at this routine for this little kid. This 13-year-old of mine gets to break routine on a Thursday. He doesn't have to show up to school. He doesn't have to show up and do the work. He gets to actually expand and learn how to open a fence post, a gate, 2 cowboys put together way back when. All right, that's all I got for you in love and light, bringing you truths every single day in this Survive to Thrive to help you move to a life above and thriving. We'll talk to you tomorrow.